Hi, my name is Rob Free. I'm the owner of Backwoods Scrivener, a small publisher that specializes in mysteries involving cryptids and fantasy romances. I'm presently listening to the Audible Harry Potter full cast dramatizations and have to say they are a rewarding and immersive experience. Presently, I'm going through the Philosopher's Stone, and I've just been impressed with the background audio work where you, on the sheer sonic level, feel like you're attending the moments with Harry and his peers. But you also get to, with the benefit of full cast dramatization, hear lines in a whole new context. There's a couple scenes from earlier in the book that hearing them brought aloud and actually rendered instead of cut in the editing bay of the film studio, I found a whole new context to them. Now, I'll admit that it's been 20-some years since I first encountered Harry Potter when it entered the scholastic catalogs, but I will say that coupled in with my discovery that I was neurodivergent later in life, they both help shade why I found new context to scenes early on, just because of the passage of time and, learning more about emotional intelligence and what have you. But I still contend that when you have a full dramatized reading of a book, you get to hear a nuance that you can't get unless it's being filmed, verbatim, like the Jeremy Brett Sherlock Holmes adaptations from Granada back in the day. Now, I'm impressed with the cast they have. I understand they brought Nick Frost and I believe the actress who plays Hermione into the fold for the earlier adaptations. I don't remember if it's the entirety of the cast from the HBO series, but they've done a terrific job alone, and I do appreciate that they found aged-up counterparts to carry the torch for the later volumes. I'm listening to them in an OCD kind of way, because I renewed my Audible subscription and got the credits, so I'm listening to Sorcerer's Stone right now. But later this month, if they haven't already released the later volumes in the series, I'm just going to listen to them in the order that I prefer them. If I had to rank the books in my favorite order, it would be like this: Half-Blood Prince, Prisoner of Azkaban, Order of the Phoenix, Goblet of Fire, Chamber of Secrets, Deathly Hallows, and Philosopher's Stone. I know there's some entries that get bumped up accordingly. Now, that's not talking about the film adaptations, which are a little different. But my whole point remains that Half-Blood Prince and Prisoner are my two favorite books of the series. Prisoner was my first book in the series. I discovered it a little later. And ironically, it was at the heart of the whole witchcraft controversy that was brewing stateside over the books. And Half-Blood Prince was just a terrific read. It tonally and narratively just felt like its own self-enclosed arc, much like Prisoner of Azkaban. And when I was over in France back in college in the 2010s, I picked up a UK printing of it, the first edition, and I loved the cover art, which it showed Snape's Advanced Potions textbook on it. And I love the minimalist cover design on it. And I lost it when I moved. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll go and rebuy it if I have to, pay the duties of getting it across the pond, whatever. Oh, no. That book, which I paid about 10 euros for back in 2010, is now going for 60 euros because it's out of print and at a prestige niche now because of the artwork and the limited run of it, which I find incredibly frustrating. Don't get me wrong, right? The original Scholastic cover art is phenomenal. I'm actually in the process of putting back some money to buy one of these smaller prints from the artist, Mary Brown Pree. I've enjoyed her work and just the sheer characterization, I should say, pardon my stuttering, that she brought to the characters with the animative quality and just the beautiful color palette. But Winding it all back, it's been a treat. Hugh Laurie as Dumbledore is the selling feature alone. I told a colleague about it. I said, honestly, just his presence alone as Dumbledore makes it worth it. But the sound design has been great. Like I said, you really feel like you're at Hogwarts, and they, for instance, on the scenes set during the Quidditch matches, they composite it so well that you have the background ambience of everyone becoming, immersed in the game, and then you hear the game progressing, and it's an unrivaled experience. Now, I'm just using my vehicle's standard speakers for this, but I imagine if I had some, high-end consumer-grade sound equipment, I'd have a far better experience, which I would, but I do my audiobook listening on the road. I've just, at this point, had to prune my podcast because of activism destroying criticism on the YouTube art scene. And so that's where I ended up. So if you haven't already, I highly recommend the Audible Harry Potter full cast dramatizations. You can't beat it. So yeah, it's there. Please check it out. And my works you can find on Amazon. The Racetown Mystery Club series is there, as well as the Young Yaputka Night series. It's my small town superhero romance series. And I'll be branching into fantasy romance with a couple books later this year. And have a good day.